Hello, this is Trevor Wallace, and today I'll be showing you numerous aspects of the Industrial Revolution through Minecraft. So, we're going to be starting off with hydropower. Hydropower was greatly improved by the mass production of iron during this time period. As you can see, we have some machines hooked up here, we've got some sugar cane set up, and this was partly because the water wheel was improved by how much iron there was available. As we can see, there's a wheel back there, which is mostly crafted out of iron, with being that a lot of the blocks are crafted from iron. Now, we're going to get this water flowing here to demonstrate what this is capable of. So we step on inside. Got this little block that pops out. And we can grow this block. We'll knock that off and we'll get some sugar cane. Very nice, very nice. Outside, and I'm just gonna hit this little stone button right here. Now we got some sheep going. This is actually supposed to represent Richard Arkwright's water frame, which he invented in 1796. This revolutionized the cotton industry by providing the capability to spin yarn, which was a difficult task prior to that. Now, Britain gained heavily from this mass production and just the overall revolution of hydropower, so much so that they wanted to keep this knowledge kind of to themselves by preventing anyone with intensive knowledge from traveling to the US. Eventually, some people did break through, and the revolution was provided to the United States. Now, there was a bit of a limitation with hydropower, which was the whole weather aspect. See, the water that actually powers this, if something were to happen to it, like say it were to be frozen over, like if it was an ice biome in this case, in Minecraft. However, due to, well, it's just that, like, sometimes it would be a bad time to run it because of droughts as well, so the water would evaporate. Now, we're going to be taking a look at another aspect here, the canal. So I kind of accidentally busted up the canal in trying to kill these chickens in creative mode. I believe that would actually be a better decision if I were to switch out of creative mode right now so as to demonstrate some aspects later down the line. There we go, I'm in survival. So, this canal right here. I used a sort of idea invented by the time, which was puddling. This is applying the clay to the sides and bottom of the canal to sort of waterproof it. Now, this was all brought about by the creator of one of the first canals, which was James Brindley. He basically popularized the canal process, at least. This was to basically make quicker transport and everything. He was invested in by the Duke of Bridgewater. He was given 25,000 euros, which was quite a lot back then. Quite a lot. The development was finished in 1761, 2 years from when the payment was made. And these are usually used for transferring commercial goods, these canals, I mean. Now, there were some, like, issues where, like, the droughts and everything, if these weren't kept filled with water, then they just dry out in hot periods of time. Also, mountains were a bit of an issue. They had to use locks to actually rise the boats over the sort of area, because there's even the slightest slope to the canal that would cause the water to sort of puddle up and, like, drain from a certain area. Now we're going to take a look at the tenements. Tenements were the sort of apartments for low-income peoples with high amounts of inhabitants despite low, run-down quality. These were used during the Industrial Revolution heavily to accommodate for poor farmers and that were coming to the city. These buildings were usually middle-class houses and well, not tenements, that's what they became. They were actually warehouses as well before they became tenements. So, as you can see, there's no windows in this room. So, overall, no real visibility. So, many rooms lacked windows during this time period. And yeah, there's just a lot of problems here that I'm actually going to demonstrate as I've built in. This is actually like a very high quality tenement here. I actually put lighting in here, decent bedding. We have some cots right along here. The water's pretty nice, and nothing wrong with the stove, so it's pretty good. Now we're going to be looking at some of the less better locations. So coming in here, we can see a bit of a fire going on right now. Now, fires were quite a problem for this time period. I mean, that's just one of the problems with the tenements, is that they weren't really well protected from burning. Right here, we step in, and that's odd, didn't seem to activate. Well, perhaps that's for the better, because in here we have some poison right here, because there were like plumbing issues as well, meaning like piping was not that great. Now in here, it doesn't look too bad. A lot of cots, a small table, and everything. But we also got to consider that there is some rancidness to this whole place. We got like bad potatoes in there, the water, a little hard to tell, but it's kind of murky. So yeah, overall, not the best. So yes, that was the tenement. Overall, fortunately, in 1901, the United States passed the Tenement House Act of 1901, which did improve a lot of conditions in the tenements by requiring better plumbing, lighting, and ventilation. So yes, definitely, it took them quite a long time, but it's good they finally made the changes. Now we're going to be taking railroads. Railroads actually did become a lot more popular than the canals at one point, because the canals themselves, they were prone to many issues that I've already mentioned, as far as like droughts and whatnot with the hydropower. Now we're going to be heading into a coal mine now, so this will be interesting. A little factoid for you: Britain produced 5.2 million tons of coal around the time of 1750, but by 1850, that was increased by over 10 times at 62.5 million tons of coal per year. So, going into this mine here, there's some things to consider about the workers. For one, sometimes, like when it's really hot, they didn't wear clothes. These workers were, like, it would get real hot to the point where they just couldn't wear any clothes. Now, another aspect here is that they worked by candlelight in cramped spaces. However, since this isn't the more modern versions of Minecraft with 1.17, I believe, that's going to be adding candles, I'm just going to have to use a torch here. But yes, they also had to work in cramped spaces. Like, some of them had to like kneel to get in here. So yeah, this is like one block here. Not Java Edition, so I can't crawl. But yeah, it's just overall real rough conditions. So yeah, there was, however, like one massive, like one of the bigger threats was like gases that could be found underground. To be specific, there was the most fearsome one, which was called fire damp. Fire damp was basically this gas that was combined mostly with methane, and that was definitely not good. Methane, like as soon as they lit their candle next to it, it could cause an explosion. So this fire damp was actually the cause of one of the biggest accidents in the coal mining industry, where it was one of the worst explosions, at least, which happened in Felling, England. This explosion killed 92 people, which was quite a lot. There were men and children included. So, with that, that is going to conclude the tour of some aspects of the Industrial Revolution. So, thank you for watching.